recap.
I was pulling up the wrong
So
one.
Lil Woody equal 115, like Lucifer, 115, and then the duality, right? Because recap. So Lil Woody equal 115, like Lucifer, 115, and then the duality, right? Because Lil Woody also equal 101, like Jesus Christ. Then Lil Woody equals 38, like Lucifer, 38, death, rapper, killing, YSL Woody 138, 38. Even Young Thug. Young Thug equals 138. Young Thug, YSL Woody, 138. 33.
So you see how he's matching up the numbers in the gematria calendar with certain names and then the dates that have something to do with each thing. So you see how he pulls up Young Thug in the number 33. Crazy thing about that is that Young Thug is a Freemason. We know that there are 33 degrees in Freemasonry. So him pulling up Young Thug in 33, that already, clicked in my head is okay. Is there something going on where Young Thug has now become a 33rd degree Mason? Has he risen in the occult knowledge that far to where something or someone has to sacrifice something to him?
Then he got that 42, Young Thug, 42. Young Thug, 420. So YSL Woody, July 25th, 1991. December 1st, 129. So it was 129 days. It was the 130th day of his age. Like human sacrifice equals 130. It was 129 days after his birthday, like Anton LaVey equals 129. That's the founder of the Church of Satan. So when they make these sacrifices to the Church of Satan. So that's why Anton LaVey is connected. 18 weeks and 3 days after his birthday. That's the 33rd degree slogan. Order out of chaos. 183. So I don't know if he's a 33rd degree. YSL Woody equals 33. And he's 34 now. So I don't know if that was his 33rd degree Masonic sacrifice. I don't know what degree he is. But the 33rd degree Masonic slogan is connected. So maybe that's his climb. What he has to do to make his climb through Freemasonry. And that's just the stamp they put on it. You see what I'm saying? Because it's the 4 months and 6 days. It's going to say 5 when I think.
But that's what I'm saying. I don't think it's Woody is the 33rd degree Mason. I think it's Thug. Thug is the 33rd degree Mason. That's why the 33 keeps coming out. That right there is exactly why the 33 keeps coming out. And I'm going to play the video after this. I'm going to play the video that from Truth Is, again, in case you guys don't remember and didn't see, of confirmation that Young Thug is a Freemason. And has been for quite a long time.
Through the end date, but really that's 4 months and 7 days. Okay, so it keep. So that's 47 right there. Just like the Masonic compass is 47 degrees. They try to throw it off and put everything else 48 degrees, 46. It's 47 degrees. It's 47 degrees in the Masonic compass. So we got the 47 We got the slogan. It's 33 weeks before his next birthday. Seven months. I want to say that's Brotherhood of Death. Yeah, the Brotherhood of Death, 724. So that's Skull and Bones. And then 33 weeks. YSL Woody, Young Thug, and Masonry. Masonry 33. And you see that 42 over there. You see that 42 over there. So that's YSL Woody. And he got 838,000 followers. That's murder backwards. 83 and 38. And then look, he got 226 posts. That's another tribute to Anton LaVey, the founder of the Church of Satan. 226. Yeah, that's his tribute. So he made his tribute. Then he got 838,000 followers. That's murder. That's murder. 83 and 38. So yeah, they always gonna show the signs they gotta show you. So they when they Instagram, when something happen, they Instagram, they control, they can easily control how many followers you have. They can buy bots, they can take away bots, they can take away some, add to whatever the required number for the ritual. Your grandfather was a Freemason. What degree? So that's why I sell Woody. What's his real name? Kenneth Copeland. Kenneth Copeland equals 147. Like Freemason, 147. And then once again, the 47 degrees in the Masonic compass. $183, Copeland, 38, 183, 420. So they use them for these rituals by their name. 322, 112. Skull and Bones, 112. The Brotherhood of Death, room 112. His son died 7 months and 24 days. Like the Brotherhood of Death, 724. So yeah, this will we get connected to it. This will we get connected to it. So look at this word bank, and this will we get. This will we get. It's the full breakdown right here. Kenneth Copeland is a Freemason, and he sacrificed his son as a tribute to Freemasonry, Skull and Bones, aka the Brotherhood of Death, and the Church of Satan. His son was a human sacrifice for YSL and his connection to Young Thug. That's the whole breakdown right there. They give you the whole story through the numbers. This the whole story through the numbers. All this what comes to be free in that case. It all came at a cost. Now you hear about his son, 2 month old, only 2 months old. Then Young Thug connected to Skull and Bones. .322 Jeffrey Lamar Williams. .322 Skull and Bones. We're gonna keep all these tabs up. Yeah, Thug did say he was a Mason, and he beat all his cases. Skull and Bones, Order 322, or the Brotherhood of Death. So whenever you see 322, 112, 223, that's Skull and Bones. 149, 149, 41, 202, 76, 59, 94, 49. Skull and Bones. Then you got Skull and Crossbones, 223. They both 34. .107. So this Young Thug's connection to YSL Woody's son death. It was 107 days after Young Thug's birthday. Like ritual sacrifice. 107. Anton Sandor LaVey, the founder of the Church of Satan. That's who you find out who the ritual sacrifice was for. On the 15th week in the third day. Like the Jesuit order. Then we see everything that they involved in. You see right here. They all in conjunction. All under one umbrella. Then you got 108 days. On the 108th day. Jesuit order. 108. Then that's 322. That's 322. On the third month, second week, and second day of Young Thug's age, Woody's son died. 322. Young Thug real name, Jeffrey Lamar Williams. 322. Skull and Bones, man. $258 days. Like Devil, 258. Order of Illuminati, 258. Kenneth Copeland, YSL Woody's name, equals 258. And his son dies 258 days before Young Thug's next birthday. Then we got 259, like Yale University. 259, Yale University is home of Skull and Bone. Yale University. .822. Church of Satan. .822. .816. That's Young Thug birthday, August 16th. And his birthday, Young Thug's birthday, is on the 8th month and 16th day of YSL Woody's son's death. And his birthday, 8/16. So that's a direct link. Then you got 8/21. Watch how they code this. The Urantia book, look how Skull and Bones codes this. The Urantia book claims he was born August 21st. Jesus. 8/21. Right? 8/21. The Urantia book. The Urantia book. 83. Like Yale University. 110 like Skull and Crossbones. 61 like Skull and Crossbones. Let's see the day that they put out the Urantia book. October 12th. That's 112. That's the Brotherhood of Death. That's Skull and Bones. That's 112. Let's look at August 21st. The 233rd day of the year. So look at who they really tributing with Jesus' birthday. Look at who they call. This is their Jesus. They calling Anton Sandor LaVey Jesus, because Anton Sandor LaVey, who is he was the founder of the Church of Satan, and his name equal 233. And Skull and Bones put out the Urantia book, and the Urantia book say Jesus' birthday is August 21st, and that's on the 233rd day of the year. They give him a day that they constructed on the Gregorian calendar for a reason. They giving a tribute. Even if we take this Jesus' birthday, which is Anton Sandor LaVey, to them, right? 263 days. Like Skull and Crossbones. Yeah, I'm familiar with Anton Daniels. He from Detroit, I believe. Or at least he lived there. I'm not sure where he from, like his background. But I know he be there. All right, so that's that.
Okay, so as you guys saw, murder by numbers again. The numerology and the proof is in the pudding. YSL Woody has sacrificed his own son, unfortunately. Very, very sad to hear, and very sad news. But when you think about why he did it, it's very cool. It's very clear, actually. Come on, camera, real quick, 'cause I'm gonna play one more clip. I'm just gonna play two more videos for you. It's very evident why he did it. Think about this. YSL Woody is known as a snitch and a rat. I was gonna play the Big Bank interview he did, but that video is almost like 2 hours. We don't have to necessarily be here for 2 hours to break down what I'm gonna say here, because even in the Big Bank interview he's doing, right, he's saying similar to what he said already on IG Live. I don't need to play that clip either. on IG Live, you hear him talking about over and over about retaliation to Thug, right? You hear him talking about if something happens to my son or something happens to my kids or this, that, and the third, something happened to my family, this, and the third. He's had death threats since he's been out of jail. Different things have happened to him. He had the accident with the dirt bike, which I don't think was an actual accident with the dirt bike. I think someone actually tried to put their hands on him or did put their hands on him, and he dressed it up as a dirt bike accident and was in the hospital. I think someone actually beat him up and hospitalized him. I don't think it was a dirt bike accident. There are people saying it was a dirt bike accident. I don't think it was a dirt bike accident. Anyway, he said numerous threats to his life since he's been out, okay? This is his way of getting back protection that he once had through YSL. How he gets back into YSL or any connections, sacrificing his son. It's very ritualistic. If Kinfolk didn't look this up, but I am for you guys. I don't think we got time for the Matt Barnes thing. I might say that for tomorrow. Now that I'm thinking about it. Let me just put this stuff away real quick. Things we're not gonna get into real quick. What was that? Damn, lost track of thought real quick. So, yeah, YSL Woody. YSL Woody is looking for a form of protection now, right? And to get back into the good graces and get that protection, he has to go through Young Thug. Oh, that's what's going on. Firstborn son sacrifice. Okay, so it's getting late, so my brain is starting to wire down here. Firstborn son sacrifice meaning. Show you how this real quick. Damn it, move down. Okay, so it says here, the meaning of firstborn son sacrifice revolves around themes of ultimate faith, divine ownership, and covenant, most famously seen in the binding of Isaac, Genesis 22, as a test of Abraham's trust in God, symbolizing God's provision and foreshadowing Jesus' sacrifice in Judaism. The Peonhaven redemption of the son ceremony symbolically redeems the firstborn, acknowledging God's claim in the doubt owed of the Israelites spared in Egypt, while the biblical command to give the firstborn to God often means dedication or redemption, not literal killing. Now, flip it a little bit. Ancient cultures, such as the, I'm saying this right, Canaanites, excuse me. Yeah, Canaanites, Mayans, Aztecs practiced forms of child sacrifice to various deities as a means to appease supernatural beings or manage resources during crises like famine. Someone is starving since they've been out of jail and been known as a rat. Have they not? Someone pretty much does not have the protection that they once had, is not able to make the money that they once able to make in the streets. Their water has been cut off as far as making money in the streets, as well as making money through being protection for Young Thug or being a shooter for Young Thug in the streets. That money is now long gone. You're now not doing 20v1s in interviews for being in the trial for being YSL Woody. There's no memes of you. You didn't capitalize or make royalties or become a comedian doing a stand-up or anything like that. So your well has run dry. Crisis like famine. The Hebrew Bible contains strict prohibitions against the practice of offering children to the deity Moloch, which some interpretations suggest was a practice with biblical authors sought to eradicate, not an act of satanic worship. Historically, accusations of blood sacrifice were often leveled by dominant groups against marginalized communities, such as medieval accusations against the Jewish populations, yada, yada, yada. Okay, so witchcraft and diabolism. During the early modern European witch hunts, stories about witches killing children to procure materials for magic were obtained under torture and were likely bogus, but diabolism, the theory that the devil walked the earth and was behind evil, led to various accounts of murder attributed to demonic possession, but these were not organized religious practices. So when I hear about him dying in his sleep, I'm saying to myself, okay, this is a situation where someone was either possessed to do this, or YSL Woody might have been the one to choke his baby to sleep. Or someone caused something to happen to where the baby was not able to wake up in the hospital. Or should I say wake up at all? Because this happened, I believe, while while the baby was fresh out the hospital. Like I said, the baby was only 2 months old. So this is literally, like I said, the baby being fresh out of the hospital when it got killed. Okay? Or when he got killed, excuse me. The firstborn son, as you see here, is very ritualistic to worship. And in times of crisis or famine, excuse me, the firstborn son is sacrificed. Remember, he has 2 daughters. So this is his actual firstborn son. This is his first time having a son. So it actually meant something to him. It really meant something to him to have a son. So being that he was forced, so that's another thing too. He was forced to sacrifice this child. It wasn't that he wanted to do this just to say, okay, let me just sacrifice my child and make some money. He was forced to do this because if he didn't, his remaining family and his own life was also at risk in being threatened by Young Thug, who, as you can see, and I'm going to play this next video here, Thug is I believe now Thug has reached the 33rd degree level of masonry. Because of how celebrated he is in music, because of how celebrated he is for beating the feds, regardless of what he's actually been known to be accused of, and we've even seen, different things, and rest in peace to Rich Homie Quan, who I did a piece on. If you guys want to look on the channel for that as well, I did a piece on Rich Homie Quan because I believe allegedly Young Thug had something to do with Rich Homie Quan dying, because it was not even a week after Woody took the stand and talked about the barbershop shooting of Rich Homie Quan's father. Right after that, Rich Homie Quan is seen doing an interview where he is very visibly nervous that Woody talked about the barbershop shooting. A week later, Rich Homie Quan is dead. Thug has been known to say, and we're going to watch the piece here in the clip where he says it, he is a Freemason and beats all of his cases. He already knew he was going to be getting off hands-free and just getting parole, even though he was facing damn near life for all these fucking murders. And having a RICO against him by the feds that YSL was a gang, not just a record label. But because he is a high-level Freemason, he's able to get off of these things. I believe now he is a 33rd degree level Mason, to which he can order such a sacrifice given to him because someone's album is also coming out.
Young Thug has been relatively quiet since he was released from jail. While he has been popping up in several places and doing interviews here and there, he hasn't been as present as most people would expect him to be after escaping life in prison. Recently though, Young Thug was dragged into headlines for something most people didn't expect. While Thug was enjoying his freedom, his past finally seemed to catch up to him. Just a few days ago, old footage of Thug in an interrogation room leaked online where he was saying a bit too much. Now, the entire internet is calling him a snitch and a hypocrite. But I'm not here to talk to you guys about snitching allegations. I wanted to talk about the coded message Thug hid in his new upcoming album. One thing I found interesting about these snitching allegations was the timing of all of it. All of this just so happens to be going down as Thug is preparing to release his new album named UI Scuddy. Thug's new album is set to drop on October 17, 2025. Now, I clearly don't think these snitching allegations are a form of marketing. Why would Thug paint himself as a snitch? But I do feel that there's way more to all of this. I started looking deeper into Thug's album cover to see what I can find. And what I found was a rabbit hole that was so deep that ties Thug's trial to not only his new album, but even possibly these snitching allegations. Thug's new album is full of hidden coded references that once I broke it all down, I knew I had to tell you guys. Hey guys, I hope all is well. Welcome back to The Truth Is, where I drop new videos exposing the truth weekly. In today's episode, we will be talking about Young Thug's new album, UI Scuddy. But before we begin, I just wanted to let my Patreon members know I am finishing up on a new Patreon exclusive that will drop in the next few days. So if you're one of my members, make sure to be on the lookout for that video. If you're not a member, what are you waiting for? Join the truth movement and help me spread the truth. For $3 a month, not only will you be further supporting the channel, but you would also get access to over 50 exclusive Patreon videos that are not available here on YouTube. If you would like to join, you can find the link in the description and in the comment section. I want to thank you all. Now, let's get right into it. Currently, Young Thug is facing a second trial. While Thug was able to take a plea deal and avoid the consequences of his crimes during his criminal RICO trial, he now seems to be going through another trial with the world finding him guilty of being a snitch. Like I said earlier, I'm not here to talk about Thug's snitching allegations though. Even if it's extremely ironic that Thug claimed to disown Gunna for taking a plea deal and snitching, while he himself took a plea deal and is now being accused of talking to the police in a past interrogation. It seems that Young Thug isn't what he seems to be. Those who have been watching this channel for years know that I already exposed the truth about Thug. All the way back in 2022, I told my subscribers that this entire arrest would end in Young Thug being freed. Now, obviously, this is what ended up happening after Young Thug took a plea deal and was sent home. Even though Thug was facing life for being the leader of a violent street gang that committed all types of crimes including murder, the prosecution offered Thug a plea deal that allowed him to avoid prison time and set him free. Very unusual, as usually people that face criminal charges like the ones Thug was facing aren't given plea deals that allow them to avoid prison time. Thug was initially charged with RICO conspiracy, gang activity, drug, and gun charges. He was accused of leading a criminal street gang called YSL, which prosecutors allege was involved in violent crimes like murder, armed robbery, and even carjacking. He also faced charges relating to drug and gun possession. He was facing a maximum of 45 years in prison, basically life. But he would get nowhere near that amount of time after pleading guilty, which, when you consider the fact that he pleaded guilty to conspiracy to violate the RICO Act, participation in criminal street gang activity, violations of the Georgia Controlled Substance Act, and possessions of a firearm during the commission of a felony, it doesn't make any sense. Thug instead got time served and 15 years of probation. Basically a slap on the wrist when you realize he was being accused of being a gang leader who ordered murders. Specifically, he was accused of ordering the murder of Rich Homie Quan's manager Big Nut. I'm no lawyer, but I asked Google's AI how much time people usually get for pleading guilty to the crimes Thug pleaded guilty to. It even said that he would have faced significant prison time, not just probation. AI said this: with the typical plea deal outcomes given the severe nature of the original charges, a plea deal would likely still involve significant prison time and probation. But somehow, Young Thug got special treatment. You can blame it on a horrible job done by the prosecution, or blame it on him being rich and having powerful lawyers with connections. But knowing what I know, I believe is something much more sinister behind him being freed, and it connects directly to his new album. I believe that it might even connect to these snitching allegations, but we will get more into that later in this video. Young Thug's new album is called UI Scuddy. For those who don't know what this means, it is in reference to the red hypergiant star located in the Scutum constellation. It is one of the largest stars, being reported that it is 1700 times bigger than the sun. Now, Thug previewed 2 album covers for this album. Today, we will be focusing on his alternative album cover that shows this image here. This image is a representation of the birth, death, and rebirth cycle that all of this ties into. Now, in order to see the coded message hidden in Thug's new album cover, you must first understand who he truly is and what he's a part of. Those of you who are veteran truth seekers that have watched me since 2021 should already know this. But for those of you who are new here or never watched my content on Young Thug, let me break this down real quick for you. Now, I want to make it clear that what I'm about to say isn't a conspiracy theory. This is a fact, and I can say this confidently. Young Thug isn't just a street rapper. He is actually a part of the oldest and most connected secret society in America, the Freemasons. Now, I'm not saying this purely off imagery or hand gestures, even though there is a lot of that. I'm stating this because he has not only admitted it openly out of his own mouth, but also, there are plenty of photos of Thug at a Masonic lodge showing his alliance. Years ago, I saw these pictures online of Thug and his crew inside of a Prince Hall Freemason lodge. For those who don't know, the Prince Hall Masonic Lodge is a branch of Masonry that was initially created for black men and other minorities, as standard Masonry for a very long time didn't allow black or other men of color to join. I was able to trace these photos back to an Instagram page called Exodius Free Society that belongs to a Prince Hall Freemason member. These photos showed Thug attending a Prince Hall lodge and becoming a Master Mason, with the photos upload dating back to August 21st, 2016. In these photos, Thug could be seen holding a Freemason certificate, doing hidden hand gestures with other members, and showing his alliance. The post had this caption: "Special congratulations going out from the brothers of the Sons of Mount Sion Lodge number 7, our newly made brothers Master Mason Thugger Thugger 1 and Little Duke 60, an honor well deserved and worthy of these 2 noble brothers in welcoming them into the craft all over the globe." This post was letting us know that on August 21st, 2016, Young Thug and his friend Little Duke both became Master Masons. If this isn't enough proof for you, Young Thug himself even admitted that he's a Mason who beats all his cases in this video.
I'm a Mason. I beat all my cases. I'm a Mason. I beat all my cases.
I'm a Mason. I beat all my cases.
Young Thug hasn't hidden his ties to the Freemasons. He has flooded his music videos with Masonic imagery. For example, in Thug's video for Up featuring Lil Uzi Vert, Young Thug utilizes several symbols associated with the occult and Freemasonry. In the video, we can find the one-eye symbolism when the camera zooms into Thug's eye. This symbolism connects back to the Eye of Horus, otherwise known as the all-seeing eye. He also shows the checkerboard floor, a symbol Masons commonly use to symbolize duality. The checkerboard floor could also be found at every Masonic lodge, which to me indicates that this was supposed to represent a Masonic lodge. He also depicts the owl, which is a symbol of knowledge, enlightenment, and seeing in the dark. Also, a woman wearing horns that represents the Baphomet imagery. This video was released back in 2018, less than 2 years after Thug became a Master Mason. This is why this music video is full of Masonic symbols. Now, one thing that all Freemasons do as they go up in degrees is participate in ceremonial esoteric rituals, with one of the main rituals Masons perform being the death and rebirth ritual. This ritual is supposed to represent the moment a Mason kills off their current self, symbolically dies, and finds enlightenment and then is resurrected. This is called the death and rebirth ritual. It's a cycle of 3 that represents birth, death, and rebirth. When a Freemason joins a lodge, they have to go through the first 3 degrees, which represent this death and rebirth. The 3rd degree represents the process of this death and rebirth ritual, when a Mason becomes an official 3rd degree Master Mason. Now, this isn't the top of Masonry, but the beginning. Becoming a Master Mason allows you to go through the higher degrees. During the 3rd degree, the candidate is symbolically killed, where in death or in the darkness, they discover the hidden information or what is lost, meaning they find enlightenment. Once they find that enlightenment, they are then resurrected or reborn as a new godly enlightened version of themselves. This is not only what Thug's new album is about, but his entire arrest and everything that is going on with him now. It was all a ritual. This is something Young Thug let us know before he went to jail. Some of you might remember that not long before Thug was arrested, he started promoting an upcoming album he claimed he was working on. This was the album cover, a picture of Young Thug covered in blood. This album cover was supposed to represent the start of the death and rebirth ritual, showing his symbolic birth and death. When we are born, we are often covered in our mother's blood. We are also born clueless or without knowledge, and we have to learn. This album cover represents that initial birth. When he eventually went to jail, this was the second phase of the ritual, and it represents finding the knowledge while in death. In the occult, prison is often seen as the darkness, isolation that leads to finding enlightenment. This is how it's described. A prison represents the mundane world, or the limited consciousness from which the soul seeks to escape through the process of spiritual death and rebirth. It is
Juju,
a
what's going
powerful
on?
metaphor for spiritual entrapment and the necessary self-destruction of the ego to achieve true liberation. In the Buddhist religion, the concept of samsara is a cycle of birth, death, and rebirth, driven by karma. Occult and esoteric interpretations equate this relentless cycle of reincarnation with a spiritual prison, or the prison of samsara, from which the soul seeks to escape through enlightenment. When Thug was released from prison, he was reborn. A new enlightened Young Thug rose from the ashes. His entire arrest was a part of this ritual, and he basically confirms this by using the UI Scuddy imagery for his new album. This UI Scuddy star is depicting this birth, death, and rebirth. On the album cover, we see the UI Scuddy star with three strange images on it. The first image represents the birth, the second the death, and the third the rebirth. Now, when we go deeper into the symbology of the UI Scuddy star, we discover more that proves this connection. Young Thug named his album UI Scuddy after a red supergiant star, one of the largest known stars in the universe. He revealed the title through a series of cryptic social media posts and the use of jerseys featuring the name, with the title also representing a major turning point as he resumed his music career after being released from prison. The important part of this statement is the major turning point and his new music after being released from jail. Now, in the occult, UI Scuddy has a deep significance. In the occult, the UI Scuddy star represents symbolic destruction, rebirth, or cosmic gateways. Occultists interpret its immense size, fiery red glow, and position in the sky as symbols for the trilogy ritual. Since red supergiants eventually collapse in supernova, occultists sometimes connect them with themes of apocalypse, transformation, and divine fire. Red supergiants like the UI Scuddy are sometimes called cosmic furnaces in esoteric traditions. They embody creation and destruction, and it also represents as above, so below. Their life cycle mirrors human occult initiations, like the death of the ego and the rebirth into higher knowledge. UI Scuddy is often used in end-time theories as a celestial warning sign or a marker of coming global transformation, which is exactly why Thug is using it. The UI Scuddy sits in the constellation Scutum, Latin for shield. In the occult, shields often symbolize protection, defense against unseen forces, and spiritual warfare. Some esoteric writers tie Scutum to the idea of a cosmic shield between order and chaos, which makes UI Scuddy the most powerful star in the constellation, and symbolically important as the heart or fire of that shield. In Masonry, the shield of Scutum has a significant purpose. Masons claim the shield protects hidden truths. In the sky, Scutum literally shields UI Scuddy. It's also a reminder that even the mightiest star, man, or empire must fall. This ties to the alchemist's death and rebirth cycles, better known as Solve et Coagula, which is seen on the Baphomet. And it also connects to the Masonic initiation. One must symbolically die to be remade into higher knowledge. Scutum as the shield represents the final barrier an initiate must pass through before enlightenment, a cosmic trial by fire. Just like Young Thug went through before this album, Young Thug's trial was the final process of the ritual before being reborn as an enlightened being. His album cover through a cold Masonic lens represents Scudam, the Cosmic Lodge shield, UI Scuddy, the blazing star within the shield, representing the idea that the ultimate truth is both shielded and revealed through destruction and rebirth, which is a supernova cycle. The album cover and title is letting us know that he is reborn, and he himself is UI Scuddy, the supernova star. He is telling us that he has achieved enlightenment. Now you may be thinking that all of this is crazy, because why would he put himself in jail and go through all that? Well, he did it because he had no choice. This was his path he chose when he joined the Freemasons. Plus, the Freemasons run the justice system. They're the ones truly pulling the strings. Most powerful judges are Masons, and most high-ranking law enforcement are also a part of it. This was all orchestrated for Thug to go through this ritual. This is why at the end, with all the proof they had against him, he escaped life in prison. Now, this isn't meant for the average person to understand, but essentially, Young Thug did all of this as a ritual, and he now believes he is a transcended god. Now, what's interesting is that this album is set to drop in October, with headlines already claiming that Young Thug will address these snitching allegations in his new album. I wouldn't be surprised if this is all a part of this album ritual. One thing is for sure, Thug is a Freemason puppet who now believes he has transcended into a literal god. Well, I'm gonna end this one here. I want to thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
Shout out to the homie Truth Is. Shout out to the homie Truth Is. Always, always enlightening us. Always enlightening us. So, You Scuddy, when did it come out? Oh, I spelled it wrong. Came out September. Came out September 26th. The You Scuddy album. So it didn't drop October. It dropped late September. It dropped late September. So again, the album has came out already. So not coming up. Excuse me. Pardon me. The album has already came out, and a lot of people. It got mixed reviews. I do remember that now. It got very mixed reviews. It wasn't necessarily called a good album from Thug. If anything, I remember people saying they missed the old Thug. Because it had the nigga song on it, but it had like he was saying with the hard ER on it. I remember there was a record that they were reviewing about that, and he was just talking about how he was pretty much just trying to talk about how racism is, viewed through the eyes of the other side, pretty much, and it's used with the hard ER and certain representations of certain ways that they actually call us the hard ER without actually saying it. You know what I mean? But say his enlightenment, as you heard Truth Is said, is, like I said, him becoming the 33rd degree Mason. So with that comes certain power. You know what I mean? He can have certain things done. He's very affiliated and very connected. So like I said, YSL Woody sacrificing his son to Thug makes a lot more sense when you think about Young Thug's affiliation with Freemasonry and satanic worship, and him doing this occult ritual of the sacrifice of the firstborn son, which means something to YSL Woody, is Woody's way of getting back in good graces with Young Thug. Not necessarily becoming good friends and best friends with Young Thug again, but it's a sacrifice to Young Thug. Now, again, whether or not, you have to think about how this was something he was forced to do. But whether or not he was forced to do it or not, Woody still feels some type of way about this. And for your son to just die in his sleep and people saying it's for seizures, but then you're coming out and saying that someone's going to pay for your son's death as if you know someone else killed him. That's when, like I said, you start this, the light bulb should go off in your head like, oh. Because you know who had something to do with his son's death. But like I said, you sacrificed your son.
Shrapnel Gang, I've got a really sad story for you guys today, and this is something that just kind of really touched me on an emotional level, and I'm just really hoping that things don't spiral out of control as a result of this story that I'm about to tell you about. But today, we're really all going to be praying for YSL Woody, Lil Woody. You know him from, the Young Thug trial. He was obviously, a witness in the case. People were saying that he was working with the staff. I mean, we saw him on the stand, right? Unfortunately, or fortunately, however you want to put it, Young Thug, the case against him ended up collapsing. Some people, myself included, felt like, in a way, Woody's involvement with the state being an unreliable witness in a lot of ways actually ended up saving Young Thug. Now, he has gotten so much hate online for, working with the authorities, being a snitch, as people have labeled him. But I've always felt like he really seems like a stand-up dude. He seems like a solid individual. He seemed like somebody who, despite maybe not necessarily being the most scholarly person from the streets of Atlanta, that's my kind of way of putting it. Young Thug said he takes medicine. I ain't gonna say that, because I really like Woody. I feel like he seems like a real stand-up dude, and
Just be honest, he ain't all up there. He's not all up there. Everybody knows what this about Woody. Woody is just not all there.
Somebody that maybe isn't necessarily book smart, but he's somebody that does have a lot of emotional intelligence, if you ask me. And a lot of his interviews have been very touching, very thoughtful, and very thought-provoking. And really, we're just praying for Woody right now, man, because it sounds like he's going through a tragedy that no one should have to go through. It pains me to even say it, man, but the news has just come out about a couple of days ago, man, that they're saying that he actually lost his infant son. He had a son a couple of months ago, and this is going around. He posted a picture with his son after the birth, saying, "Someone gonna pay." And the reports are that his son has unfortunately passed away, man. And it's just really, really sad to see him going through this, even though he is somebody that's been through a lot. He's been involved in a lot of situations that maybe have, had really, really messed up outcomes. Nobody deserves to go through this. This breaks my heart. I spoke to Mama Duck recently. Obviously, she's lost more than one child to the streets and tragedies, and this is something that nobody should have to go through, man. And I really wanted to just touch on this story, man, to just highlight this and just let everybody know what's going on, and really just spread the word, and make sure everybody's praying for Woody, man, and just praying for him to get through this, and also praying for him to not crash out over the situation, not to throw his life away, not to throw away the opportunity that he's got. Because I've been seeing him, and I've been really proud of everything that he's been achieving. He posted this and he said, "Someone gonna pay." Now, look, I couldn't even imagine what he's going through, right? But I just pray for him. I hope that he can get through this situation and, keep his freedom, keep his heart intact, because he does have a good heart. I know his heart is probably in pieces right now, but he's got a good heart underneath all of the tough guy stuff, you know what I'm saying? So in this video, I just wanted to kind of give you a little bit of backstory about Woody, his family situation, and again, just spread some positive vibes and put prayers up for Woody, man. So there was a interview, his off the porch interview many years ago. He would actually reveal in this interview that he had 2 other daughters, and what's really tragic is he explains in this interview that he missed his daughter's early years because he was serving time in prison.
Yeah. How many kids you got?
2 little girls.
2 little girls.
Same age.
Yeah. How old were they when you first went in?
One was 1 and the other a week before she about to turn 1.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So are your legal troubles behind you now, or are you on probation?
Yeah, I'm on 3-year supervised release.
Okay.
And I got like a couple months just for state probation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he already had, 2 daughters, and unfortunately, incarceration, dealing with being in the system, that kind of robbed him of some of the time with his daughters, man. And, jump forward to 2025, man, there was reports that Woody was expecting a child. He did do a gender reveal in April, and he revealed to the world that it was going to be a boy, man.
Yes, sir. They're hard. They're hard. That's hard. That's hard. They broke out their first boy, man.
Man, you know, you can just see the excitement, man. Right? So it makes me so sad just looking back at it and knowing how everything went, man. But a few months after this, obviously there was nearly a tragedy. We nearly lost Woody, okay? He was involved in a serious dirt bike accident, and you know, this was going around. Some people were saying the ops got him down, but that's not what happened, okay? He was hurt in a serious dirt bike accident, or I think he maybe was driving a four-wheeler. He fell down. He came off the bike, and you know, he thanked everybody for their prayers. He was in the hospital. Unfortunately, he did pull through, but he was in bad shape.
that prayed for me and they've been supportive. God bless y'all. I just want to thank everybody.
So, you know, he was in a rough way, man. Now, less than a week after this, obviously, his life has low-key been chaos. I mean, this is somebody who's just dealing with going in and out of prison. You know, he's coming off dirt bikes, people trying to kill him, all this kind of stuff. He's dealing with a lot in his life, okay? His life has been absolutely crazy. I don't know how he can even keep it together with all of this going on, man. But less than a week after this incident, he would essentially be back on stream with his girl, and he would open up about his recovery and the pregnancy and just all of the crazy stuff that he was had going on in his life at this time, man.
Happy for y'all, and I am so happy that you survived. Thank you. That crash, Woody. You 100% had guardian angels. Please wear a helmet next time. For how far along is she? Do you know the journal yet? It's a boy. God bless y'all. Thank you so much. My heart dropped when I heard you was in an accident. My baby was hit 3 years ago by his dirt bike. Where'd it go? Somebody deleted it. John.
I kind of feel big. Even though I'm still small, I kind of feel big. I'm ready to have this baby. But I can say this has been the best pregnancy ever. Like, literally. The baby's due soon, any day now. We don't have a name for the baby yet. He is walking better. He's doing much better. Thank you, guys.
So within about 3 weeks of this live stream, and you can just see the excitement, man. You know, he finally had welcomed his son's birth. He had his son in his arms. He posted on Instagram. You know, essentially, he said, "I will not fail at being a father. I love my three wholeheartedly. Having a son is everything a father could ask for. Thank you, God." Okay, people giving congratulations there, man. And, you know, it seemed like Woody was clearly overjoyed at being a father, you know, having a son and just being a father again with his freedom.
Right.
It was actually inspiring to see. He was posting pictures of himself feeding his son. He said, "Loving my life right now more than ever, man." He would go on to, you know, keep posting pictures, keep posting updates, him and his son. Posting a picture, he said, "I can't wait to walk into basketball courts, football fields, and stadiums, or whatever it is he chooses to do. We blessed, and you can be blessed as well. Just repent." And I feel like this was so inspiring because Woody is somebody who's been through a lot of stuff. He's been through a lot of real situations, and he was showing the world as a great leading example how you can turn your life around, how you can move forward and do positive stuff. And I've seen him going through this transformation. I observed this. I respect it. And I was inspired by it. I feel like Woody is low-key underrated as actually an inspirational person that has gone through so much and turned his life around. And I know that's not going to change in spite of the challenges he's fighting currently and overcoming. Now, it seemed like as the time went on, he had fully embraced fatherhood, everything that came with it, his family, his girl. He said, "What matters to me is my responsibility as a father." He's super inspiring, man, taking responsibility, taking this seriously. And again, we just hoping that don't change. You know, he's a tough guy. He's a strong-willed person. He's been through a lot. And I know that he's going to be able to keep shining and keep that light in his heart, even as he navigates through this really dark period of time, man. But, you know, I really just admire and I respect, like, just everything that he was kind of putting out there, all this positive energy that he was putting out there. Now, obviously, you know, we're getting towards the really tragic incident, and you know, it just makes it so much harder to take when you see how positive his life and the positive direction his life had moved into in the lead up to everything that happened, and you know, after welcoming his son. Now, his last Instagram post that he posted before the tragedy was him promising his son that he had his back no matter what, man. And it's really sad. He said, "Every decision I count. I won't let you figure out life on your own." And regardless of what happened, man, that is Woody's soul. That's his character. That ain't going to change. He's still got that love in his heart, and he's still going to be able to put that out to the world, man. And we like I say, we just praying for Woody right now. We just praying that he can navigate this situation the best he can and just stay that same person that we knew he was. Now, sadly, it would be 2 months after welcoming his son. Woody would go on Instagram to share the heartbreaking news. And obviously, he's going through it, man. He posted a picture with his son. He said, life ain't worth living anymore. And, you know, there would be a series of posts, obviously, with his son, just explaining how he was feeling, posting pictures, you know, with just the sad face there. Just, people just really, really just... I'm feeling the pain, you know. I'm seeing the heartbreaking comments. I'm seeing what everybody's going through. He said, I know this isn't the work of the Lord, but Satan will never win. And even for him to be able to stay strong and he'll stand with God. And, you know, we got people in the comments saying, keep your trust and faith in God. He'll never leave or forsake you. You know, sometimes things really hurt. They don't feel right, but, you know, sometimes that's part of the plan. Rallo's there saying, Alhamdulillah. But, you know, he would continue posting. You know, he said, you made me feel something. Now I'm numb and hurt like F. Right?
Very sad. Very, very sad situation with YSL Woody's son. But, as I said before, as kinfolk went over, this was murder by numbers. This was a sacrifice. This was a ritualistic sacrifice to Young Thug, who is a 33rd degree Mason now. And YSL Woody sacrificed his son to regain that protection. Not necessarily even about the money as much as just regaining the protection. That's literally what he did it for. The protection of the rest of his family. Unfortunately. I see your comment too, New Eyes. Davido's first son mysteriously died a couple of years ago. So I was looking into that just now while this clip was playing. And wouldn't you know that two things lined up? Similar to what, like I said, if you do not be surprised if you see a rise within either Woody or Thug right now within the industry, and certain people become more popular, this, that, and the third. If you start to see a rise in Woody gaining more, you know, money, doing more interviews and things of that nature, if you start seeing that, then you know, again, confirmation this was a sacrifice. You see Young Thug becoming more popular and doing his videos from the U Scuddy album moving forward in 2026, you know there was a sacrifice done for him. So as you said here, Davido's son died mysteriously. He tragically drowned in a swimming pool at the family's Lagos home in October 22nd. Again, similar to Woody's situation where the son died at home. Davido's son died at home in 2022 in October. Both parents were away. Of course, that's how they do it. The parents aren't necessarily there. So that's the same thing that could have happened to YSL Woody's son. YSL Woody wasn't the one that killed him. A sitter, nanny, whatever have you. Someone hired could have did the killing. Davido's first big hit was in 2022. From his first major debut album to the industry, Stand Strong. Davido's first major hit release in 2022 was the highly anticipated single Stand Strong. With, wouldn't you guess it, a Sunday service choir. Just looking at some of his track record, but yeah, the biggest one was 2022. So hey, as we've heard, murder by numbers, like I said, I'm not necessarily shocked to hear how, or I should say, shocked to hear the news. I'm more shocked at Woody even doing this for the protection. I know why he did it. Like I said, that's not what I'm shocked at. I know why he did it. I'm just shocked that he would actually, go to Thug for that type of protection, because he didn't necessarily even have anything. He didn't have anything left as far as getting any street respect or street protection. And at the end of the day, I guess, maybe I shouldn't be shocked. It's like, can you blame him? Can you really blame him when, like I said, you have no other outlet, and the only outlet that you had is completely gone, and the only way to get that outlet back is this way? And not saying, can you really blame him in the sense that, no, motherfucker, you still did a bad thing. You're still a piece of shit for doing this. You are still a piece of shit father for doing this. I stand on that part. You are still a piece of shit father for doing this. I'm saying, can you blame him for trying to protect the rest of his family as well as himself? Not just himself, it's protecting his family. It's like either you sacrifice your firstborn son or your entire family dies. If you were given that ultimatum, what are you choosing? Be honest. What are you choosing? If you're given the ultimatum of you sacrifice your firstborn son or your entire family, including you, die, what are you choosing? Some people are going to make a different choice. Some people are going to make the obvious choice of, well, you kill me, you kill all of us. Some people are going to make that choice. Some people are going to say, well, in which we know in history, as we see this example up here, there's some people that have made that choice. Now, this could be alleged right here of Davido, but again, it's not like we haven't seen sacrifices happen in the industry. Kanye West was just the most obvious example. Kanye West's mother. I sold my soul to the devil. I know it was a crappy deal. At least it came with a few toys and a Happy Meal. That's him verbatim.